Please look at this. Is it just me, or do you see some sort of weird pattern where Toku fans like Kyle and this normie lady who's into Ken Sato because he's so hot, and this guy over here who I protected his identity. I didn't protect Kyle because it is what it is, right? This other guy saying he doesn't want Emmy to grow up. So this guy doesn't want Emmy to grow up. He's into Tokusatsu. This guy who's into Tokusatsu turns out he's into kids. This lady who is into Ken Sato, who's less than 2 years old, right, from when he was created, thinks he's super hot, and that's why she's into having him be her daddy and whatever else. And that's like spiking the interest for Ultraman. Isn't her degeneracy going to lead to his degeneracy, which is going to lead to his degeneracy, and then our Toku circle is going to be a bunch of disgusting weirdos? That's what it seems like to me. What do you think? So, before you jump on the attack wagon and come at me, bro, I just want to say, my focus, like the reason I like Tokusatsu, the reason I like media, is because of the compelling stories that it tells. Do I want to look at ugly people while I'm watching my stories? No, of course not. Is it better when I find everybody attractive in a show? Sure. But is the level of attraction something that is a defining factor? I would say for me, no. Maybe in the past, yes. Early on in my Tokusatsu fandom career, whatever, when I was getting interested in reviewing things and looking at things, I was interacting with some people. Well, I was this close to being a full-blown SJW, and something saved me from it. I don't know what it was, but I'm very sympathetic. I'm very interested in bridging the gap. I'm very interested in understanding the plight of the little guy and in the downtrodden and the disrespected being cared for and being accepted and being healed and brought into the mainstream, being embraced by other people. And that's a little funny, little deceptive sounding, because I'm not saying I will kink shame. Like, and you're all kink shaming Kyle right now. How dare you? Like, there has to be a line. There has to be a level. There have to be morals. For me, it's very easy. I believe in the one above, not any of these jokers. I believe in an almighty, and I believe in a master of the universe, and that's who I'm, as much as I like Tokusatsu and stuff, I don't have a bunch of, my attachment is transcendent beyond those things that I like, and transcendent to this one who I love, and I can't go around it. So, like, for me, my anchoring and my mooring is solid. Like, I shouldn't allow myself to really dig that hot Tokusatsu or that hot Henshin hero guy in this animated movie, right? Like, I can't allow myself to do that. I can't do those things because it would be wrong on multiple levels. And, like, that's where I'm coming from. So it's easier for me to say, like, oh, this is crazy and degenerate and weird, for you to say, oh, I love this character because she's so hot. But it reminds me of a very, very funny incident at the drive-thru a few years ago. Frozen 2 was coming out. There was a trailer, and some Mexican guy, one of the gente yelled out, "That's my princess!" And everybody laughed. And it's like, well, is it because he thinks she's hot, or is it because he loves her character? Because I found certain elements of, like, the Moana story where, like, she wants to escape and she feels trapped, just like Riku on Destiny Island, right? I'm going back to Kingdom Hearts, 20 years or whatever. This boy, felt this island was a prison surrounded by water. And so he longed to escape from his prison, and he opened his heart to darkness. That stuff speaks to me because I know what it's like to feel trapped. And when it was Kingdom Hearts, it was because I was a dumb teenager, like 13, 14 years old, and I felt like, oh, I'm trapped by my family and my life. And then with Moana, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like Moana because I'm trapped in my family, in my life as a husband and father, and it's so hard sometimes, and I want to be writing, and I want to be doing other things, and I can't because I have responsibilities, and I have to be with these people, and I have to do everything for them, and that's fine. That's what I should be doing. A man and a woman, an adult, should be a grown-up, should be doing these things. And again, I like Japanese children's television. I'm not going to deny that. My wife knows it. My kids know it. The kids enjoy it with me. My wife is slightly irritated, but that's okay. As long as it's not becoming an obsession and interfering with me doing my normal life, then that's fine, because that's an addiction, right? That's not how it should be. And that's not what it is for me. This is the thing. I don't like sports. I don't like gambling. I don't play video games right now. Used to, but not anymore. Very selective about it all the time because my time is very precious. But anyway, what I'm saying is, like, I know where I'm coming from, and I know what my morals and my values and my ethics will stop me from doing. And I'm not saying all these people who are, like, these three people here, this unholy triumvirate, are like, I'm not saying they're all the same. I'm not saying they're all godless, cretins or, like, monsters or whatever. I'm just saying I feel like each of them in their own way, to different degrees, is unmoored from a moral center and reality and like an acknowledgement and a submission to a higher power and things like that. And therefore there's this freedom to just do whatever and be whatever. And I think that's obviously not helping anybody. I think it's obviously hurting these individuals. It's causing them to hurt others. I don't know what Kyle did. I don't know who he hurt. I don't know how he hurt people. I don't know if he was just funding stuff being made or what the extent of that is. And I don't actually care to investigate because it's none of my business and it's only going to hurt my heart more. And there's enough darkness in here already. I don't need any more. But it's just interesting. The people who are really, I mean, of course, his immoral, illegal act, that's what's more important, immoral, than in that it's illegal, because there's people who want that to be legal, okay? There's people who want that to be legal, and if you're a commie, you might be supporting them, but I'm not going to get into that right now. And if you refuse to say that this is this and that is that, A is A and B is B, and he is he and she is she, then I'm sorry, I feel like you're also eventually going to give support to that kind of stuff, because that's where all this, it's all a mind game, a slippery slope to lead you to this ruin and to harming other people. And it starts with rejecting the fundamentals of there is light, there is dark, there's good, there is bad, there is, one and another, and that's how it goes. But still, I still want to bridge the gap. I still want to reach out to people and say, hey, you don't have to believe in this craziness. You don't have to give in to this degeneracy. You don't have to do these things. And I don't know that the modern consumeristic media landscape where we just want to make money off of stuff as much as possible, which is something I want to do to some extent with my writing and things like that, is like healthy for creating a cohesive, like completely edifying like set of stories and like culture of fandom and things like that. Like people used to love heroes from fiction, from stories, from legends, because they inspired them to be greater or they got them through things. And now we have people just saying they want to be physically entangled with this cartoon man because of how hot he is and, his ice bath and stuff, which the ice bath thing in the movie seemed completely and perfectly in line with like context of he's an athlete. He's an athlete. He's drinking bone broth and wheatgrass, bro. So like the ice bath, of course, it's great for recovery. You should do that if you're that kind of athlete or if you're getting your butt kicked as Ultraman. That totally makes sense. But like to use that as an audience member and like salivating over that is weird and gross. And that's like if I was a fan of Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars Rebels and other Star Wars stuff because she's so hot. Yeah, her weird tube top outfit is strange. And, the windows in her clothes and stuff get worse when she gets her updated uniform. And it's weird. It's weird that you would create characters to be like this. And I hope this doesn't mean that I won't invoke that. Anyway, it's just very strange to me that it's just very strange to me. And it seems like a red flag, and it seems like a red flag that people aren't seeing and are ignoring, that the guy who doesn't want Emmy to grow up into Big Gigantron or whatever her name is, and the lady who thinks the cartoon character is super hot, they all share in common this enjoyment of tokusatsu stuff, which is made for children, which is what Kyle was into, and then into children eventually, or whenever, however that happened, I don't know. And it just seems like a weird risk. Does that mean I'm at risk because I'm a tokusatsu fan and I like this kind of stuff? I hope not. Like, no, obviously not. I'm saying that's not what I'm saying. This isn't an admission. It's not a cry for help. It's it's asking people to look deeper and to look farther and to like examine themselves. Like our heroes are supposed to do in these shows and actually grow up like Emmy is supposed to. And, stop being so absorbed with yourself like Ken Sato. Like the thing that makes Ken Sato hot in my mind is that he went from being a punk and a selfish guy to being somebody who cares about his family and invests himself in other people and in the future and wants to be more than he is now tomorrow. And that's what's hot. That's what hooks. That's what makes somebody worthwhile and makes something worth loving and caring about. Not because it excites you momentarily. All that stuff's going to fade, but that truth, that story is forever and it will endure to eternity. I hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe to keep up with me. Like and share to help me reach more people like you. And go to mjmunoz.com to find your next favorite thing. And don't forget to let your voice be heard. Stories are always better when you're part of the conversation. Until next time, be well. This is MJ signing out. This has been a Story Over Everything production.